Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and today we're going to be going through my August empties. So I give the same spiel every single time I film one of these. I love empties videos. Even though I don't think a lot of people really care about them as much anymore, I personally love them. I feel like they are so informative and so helpful because you really get a sense of what people enjoy and dislike and why. But in addition to that, I just feel like it's also really exciting to see people finish things off, especially the way that YouTube has been for the past few years, has been just buy, bigger, 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 bigger. No one ever finishes anything. So it's very exciting and fulfilling to see products actually live their entire life and get used up. So this is my little empties basket for today. Not as amazing as it could be, but I still feel really, really good about it. So let's go ahead and jump into the first thing that's on top. If you've been following my A to Z project pan, this is something that you have seen, but I'm still super thrilled about getting it finished up. This is from Hempstead. This is the Pure Herbal Extracts Age-Defying Herbal Body Moisturizer to Hydrate and Firm. I enjoyed this a lot. I am terrible about using lotions. I always forget, and so they take forever for me to use through them. So I really benefited from having this in a project because I did really like this lotion. It went on in kind of a sheerer fashion, but I still felt quite moisturized from it. It didn't leave me feeling all like greasy and gross. I really enjoyed it. It has a nice herbally scent to it without being overpowering. That is definitely a lotion that I would pick up again. I did pick mine up from TJ Maxx, so I got it at a slight discount, not a ton, but to be honest, it goes on special at like Ulta quite often, so you can definitely get a good deal on Hempstead, and it's a nice lotion. I liked it. The next item that's in here is I finally finished up a micellar water. I have a few different micellar waters. I like having them around, but I very rarely use them. I only really use them if I'm feeling kind of lazy about my makeup remover process. I still do the double cleanse, but this serves as the first step, and then I go in with a soap, or a cleanser more specifically. But I did quite like this. This one is the Garnier Skin Active Micellar Cleansing Water, obviously the one with the pink cap. I'm curious to try the biphase one. I think it's got a blue cap on it, but I liked this a lot. I feel like this is nice, it's effective, it didn't sting my eyes. It did a good job as a first step cleanser when I wasn't wearing like a ton of makeup. If I wasn't in a full face, it was a really easy first step, so I did like it. All right, sorry, my camera stopped recording randomly. So the next thing in this basket is something that I don't typically talk about in my empties because it's just a hand soap, and we go through those so fast in this house, especially since now we just all are at home all the time. But this one I wanted to have in here, so that I could talk about it, but also because I want to remind myself that when this comes back, if it comes back, I want everything in this scent. Bubble bath, shower gel, lotion, hand soap, anything I can get my hands on, I want it in it. So this is Frosted Biscotti from Bath & Body Works, and it smelled so heavenly. It smelled exactly like the Christmas biscotti that I make for my mom. It smelled amazing, and I love it. I love it, and I hope they bring it back for Christmas this year because I just want to buy a ton of it. I bought it last year at the end, either at the end of the year or early this year when Bath & Body Works does their huge end of year sale. I bought it, and I wish that I had bought more because it's wonderful, wonderful. Okay, what else do we have in here? Oh, this right here is so long overdue. Again, if you've been following my A to Z project pan, you know how long I've had these and that I just don't like them. So these are from Peter Thomas Roth. These are the Cucumber Detox Hydrogel Eye Patches. They don't fit my face well. There's nothing wrong with the actual like formula or product itself. It was nice and cooling. I like how it hydrated. It did not fit my personal eye shape, and so they were very uncomfortable and I did not enjoy using them. These are expensive. There is no need for them to be so expensive, at least in my uneducated opinion. I have for a while now felt like Peter Thomas Roth is overpriced for what it is, and these are absolutely no exception. I want to say these were like $68. I bought these years and years ago because Alana Davidson was raving about them, and I was like, oh, I want to try those. And apparently I had more money than sense at that point. Not really, that's honestly never been the case. I just don't have a lot of sense. So during one of the Sephora sales, I picked these up, and I would never repurchase. All right, so everything else that's in here except for you is, oh no, you too, is makeup. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick because this is also something that I finished up in my A to Z project pan and that I would not repurchase. This is from Tatcha. This is the Violet Sea Brightening Serum. So there are a few reasons that I would not repurchase this. The most important of which is that I did not see any difference in my skin when using this versus not using this. However, what I will also say, and what I said in all of those updates, is that I don't know how long I've had this, and vitamin C degrades very quickly, so I don't even know if this was and had effective ingredients in it at that point anyway. It is a very thin, watery consistency, which I didn't really personally enjoy. And it was completely clear, which for me is really strange as well, because every vitamin C product that I have used in the past has had some sort of yellowish, orangish tint to it. And you can always tell when the vitamin C has degraded because it gets darker and darker and darker. This was completely clear the whole time. So I know it is a very expensive product, and because I did not see any difference at all in my skin, it's not something that I would purchase in the full size, even knowing that the one that I finished may or may not have had effective ingredients in it. I hope that makes sense. And if you've used this before, let me know if your experience is the same as mine or not. The other skincare item I have in here is another micellar water. This is from the brand Pure Effect, maybe. It is their coconut micellar cleansing all-in-one water. I actually loved this. This had to have come in like an Ipsy because it's a brand that I've never heard of, and I find that if it's a deluxe sample size and I've never heard of the brand, probably Ipsy. And I don't know where to find this. Part of me kind of wants to try to seek it out because I absolutely loved this. It worked really, really well. It smelled outstanding. It smelled like coconut cake. So it wasn't like the tropical coconut scent. It was like the desserty coconut scent. And I really, really liked it a lot. So part of me kind of wants to figure out where to find this. Part of me knows that it's really not that necessary because there are good micellar waters everywhere, but I'm curious. So I do also have a couple of deluxe sample size SPFs. So the first one is from Roche Posay. It is a SPF of 60. I love higher rated SPFs. I am very, very fair and I burn really easily, and I do already have quite a bit of sun damage as it is. So I do like to go with the higher end spectrum. And this one was really interesting. This was a very, very thin, very watery consistency. But once you started to apply it to the skin, it's almost like it thickened a little bit because it went on and felt very nourishing and very substantial. I really did enjoy this a lot. And I love the fact that it is a 60. If it's anything under 50, I try to avoid it. This came in, I'm assuming this came in the Sephora SPF sampler pack that I bought last year. So I have a lot of those that are on the lower spectrum, but this one, especially in the summertime, I enjoyed and I would strongly consider repurchasing. I also finished up one by Kule. This is the Kule Mineral Sun Silk cream. This one was only an SPF of 30, so for that reason, this is one that I would probably not seek out to purchase, but I did enjoy it. I really liked the texture of it. I know that I have seen other people talk about Kule sunscreens and link them with pilling. I did not have that experience at all with this. I really enjoyed the texture of this and the way that it applied, and makeup went over it really, really nicely. I had no issues with it whatsoever. Really and honestly, the only reason that I would not repurchase this in a full size is because it's only an SPF of 30. And as I just mentioned, I really prefer a higher number because I'm just trying to protect it. Just trying to protect it. All right, I have in here 2 deluxe sample sizes of primers. So this one is from Garland. This is their L'Or, the one with the little gold flecks in it. I am so glad I did not purchase this in a full size when everybody was just raving about how much they loved it and how great it was. And it's like 70 some odd dollars. So glad that I did not jump on that train because I don't feel like this did anything for me at all. It has a much thinner, more watery consistency than I expected. I didn't feel that it did much for hydration. I didn't feel like it did anything for smoothing. I didn't feel like it did anything for my pores. I don't feel like it did anything. So very glad that I used this up and that I had the opportunity to do so because I no longer look at it with longing when I'm on my Sephora app. I did also finish up from Becca. This is the First Light Priming Filter. This one is actually my favorite of the Becca primers. I love this so much. I have a few other of the deluxe sample sizes. They're bigger than this, but they're not full size. So I did not feel the need to stock up on this before I couldn't anymore. But I'm still very sad about Becca. I'm never going to not be sad about Becca. That's just how it goes. And then I have this right here. This is a deluxe sample size of the Tarte Ready Set Radiant Skin Mist. I did not like this at all. I used this up in my 50 Shades of Purple project pan. I did not like this at all. I am someone that when it comes to setting sprays, I like to drench my skin in it. I just go to town and I love that. I could not do that with this, otherwise I just look like a sweaty, oily mess. And I am typically on the drier side, definitely more balanced these days after pregnancies, but still on the drier side of balanced. I hope that makes sense. This, if I did any more than 3 little sprays, it looked like I was sweating because the liquid would kind of sit on top of this sort of oily sheen. I would not personally purchase that. That's just not the look that I'm going for. So what I would do is I would take a different setting spray to drown my sweet little face in. And then once that was dry, I go boop, 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 just so that I could get that used up. So definitely not something that I am in the market for. I finished up a full-size mascara from e.l.f. This is their Mineral Infused Mascara. This has been open for way too long, but I mean, I liked it. When it comes to e.l.f., I have a very hit and miss sort of relationship with e.l.f., but this I enjoyed. This was just a really simple, really easy mascara, and I didn't find that it flaked or smudged on me. I did enjoy kind of cocktailing it with other things as well. So this was an all-around good mascara, and I feel like it's probably one of their $3 ones. And it is definitely something that if I was in a pinch and I needed some mascara, I would totally pick up. And finally, I finished off a deluxe sample size of my Tarte Lights Camera Lashes Mascara that I finished off in my 50 Shades of Purple project pan. And I mean, this used to be my absolute holy grail mascara. It was one that I would wait every year for the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty because I couldn't afford to purchase it at full price, so I would always pick up a tube during that, and I would use it until you literally could not use it anymore. So this definitely used to be my hands down holy grail. I still really enjoy this formula. I really enjoy the style of the brush as well. It's got a smaller, more tapered brush, which is certainly my preference. I don't necessarily always love the really, really fat, really big brushes just because I tend to make a mess with them. I know, user error, it's total personal preference. But I really like this mascara. In more recent years, I have expanded what I have tried and what I like and things like that. So it's not a holy grail for me anymore, but it is still an outstanding mascara that a lot of people really love for good reason. It's really good. So those are my empties for the month of August, and I feel really good about it. I feel like I am moving really well along this year, so yeah. What have you finished up recently, and would you repurchase it? I would love to know, so let me know in the comments below. As always, everything that I am wearing will be linked in the description box below, and if you have not yet subscribed, I hope that you will consider doing so. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you are having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.